And we're live. There it is. So, hey everybody. Have no idea how many people are going to be watching this live. This is just kind of an idea that James, Heidi, and I had this past week to kind of hijack KYL chat to kind of go live on air to do two things. First, to kind of ways that we as educators, and especially all y'all out there in the librarian world, are using these lovely Google apps. But at the same time, we realized since it is the holiday season, we decided it could be kind of fun to give away a free ticket at the end to the upcoming EdTech Team Bluegrass Summit, which is, if you don't know what it is, you'll hear a lot about it over the next hour. But it's going to be a global event centered right here in Kentucky, in Hardin County. We're going to have educators from all over the world kind of to the Bluegrass to not only share some of the unique and creative ways that they use Google Apps for education, but to also hopefully inspire us a little bit to kind of keep pushing ourselves to the limit when it comes to our students and faculty members. So we're going to have people kind of hopping on and off kind of throughout the night. We learned that a lot of us who have kids, while we like to have that set bedtime at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, you know, they don't always play by those rules. Myself included, I've learned that a lot. So we're going to have some people kind of hopping on and off kind of in here. We've got some of the featured speakers that are going to be coming in. We've got people coming from New York and Canada and parts of California as well. And we're going to have some of them kind of hop in over the next hour. But in the meantime, it is just two of us. So let me go ahead and start by kind of introducing myself. My name is Donnie Piercy. I am a 5th grade teacher and district technology integration specialist for Eminence Schools in Eminence, Kentucky. Kind of work in a hybrid role. It's 2 jobs and 1 paycheck, but it's a lot of fun. I get all the joys of kind of working with students throughout the day, and at the same time working with staff afternoon, leading trainings, kind of teaching them new and creative ways to incorporate Google Apps into their classroom. And also with us, turning around at the moment, I don't know if someone's sneaking up on him, but also with us we have...
Hi, my name is James Allen. I'm a school librarian here in Eminence, Kentucky. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to say. I just got finished selling basketball game tickets, so I'm kind of like just flew into my office here to jump on.
That sounds very exciting, man.
It's exciting. Our dollars are spot on, though. We were good, so.
Okay. Do they like recruit you as the bouncer? Are you that guy?
No, I just let people in.
Okay, that's good.
No, I don't
also
really.
Also kind of hanging out with us here, we've got Emily Fitzpatrick. She's from Ontario, Canada. She's going to be coming down for the summit as well. At the phone, she has been, because of all the weather delays, she's supposed to be traveling right now, but she's been on the phone with United Airlines, she said, for about the last 45 minutes or so. So she's a little worried that she's going to lose her spot in line if she hops off the phone. But she said that once she's done on the phone, she will kind of hop in and join us. And again, just a few things. You know, at the end of tonight, we are going to be giving away, in about the last 10 minutes or so, a free ticket to the event. I'll share and the way that we're going to be doing that is it's one of those you must be present to win kind of things. So kind of as the night goes on, I'll share some different clues, some different links and stuff that you all can use to kind of sign up for it. And James, is the plan to try to go live on Twitter as well with this?
Yeah, I'm kind of failing at the moment. We're kind of live on Twitter.
That's cool. So, you know, we're going to have a little kind of impromptu discussion kind of going as well. you know, James, Emily, and I, and whoever kind of hops in. But at the same time, where the plan is to kind of, if you guys are following along on Twitter, or if you're kind of listening on your headphones as this kind of goes on, feel free to kind of keep some of the questions and stuff that we have going on here going live. And I need to check to see, Heidi Netler said that she might be kind of running the chat in the background. So I'm going to hop in to see.
Yeah, she's on the Twitter. So if you just search KYL chat, you should see a few tweets out there. And I'll share the same questions that we talk about in here on Twitter.
Yeah, I was trying to get my lower third up and running to put some of those links on there so that way they could see it, but for some reason my lower third is not working. Hello, Brooke.
Hi.
Your camera is muted right now. And now your microphone's muted, and it was really awkward.
I'm sorry.
So, Brooke, it's okay. This is called Google Hangouts. Hey, there you are.
Sorry.
There you are. No worries. So we were just doing some introductions. James already introduced himself. I already introduced myself. Do you want to go introduce yourself to our viewers?
Well, I don't know what you said, so now I feel awkwardly uncomfortable on what I'm supposed to say. My name is Brooke.
What? This conversation just took a turn. What is it that you do, Brooke?
I'm the Instructional Technology Coordinator in Hardin County Schools.
Now, are you actually there today? Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Cool. Do you want to share what you did this weekend? It was pretty cool.
I was at the Google offices in Chicago, working on a collaboration project with National Geographic and Google Earth Outreach.
Sounds really cool.
It was very cool, except for being stuck in Chicago for snow.
Sounds rough, man.
I had to buy new boots because of the weather. I'm not equipped to deal with that.
Yikes. All right. So, James, I know the conversation is kind of going live on Twitter as well, but we've got about 5 or 6 questions that we're going to kind of answer here in the Hangout, but we've got the Twitter chat going at the same time. So, you know, if you're kind of watching live and you kind of want to hold some discussions on that end, you can do that. If you want to listen as you kind of keep the, you know, maybe you want to have this YouTube window kind of going in the background, feel free to do that as well. But James, you've got some questions prepared for us, yes?
I do, that Heidi nicely shared with me this afternoon. Thank you.
Nice.
We have like 6 librarians on the KYL chat right now. It's pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Questions, let's see. Just because it's been in the news a lot lately, the fake news, we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about sharing a favorite Google search strategy to help you and your kids to make sure they're finding good information and not fake information.
Do you have like a go-to site that you typically use? I mean, I know Google search is a great kind of tool. And before we kind of delve into specifics, like, James, what's like your typical go-to strategy for when you're trying to, I mean, when you're like working with students, what is it that you typically do when you're trying to show them like, hey, how do you know that this is real, or what makes this a credible source?
I like the crap test or carp test.
I like the crap test better.
You remember that time I was in your class and I said, I'm going to teach you all the crap tests? Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was pretty good. And I think they all remembered it too.
Do you remember what the acronym is?
Hang on, give me 2 seconds here.
Oh, you're cheating.
It's the acronym. Hang on. The crab test for evaluating sources. Is it this guy?
Well, it's something
I probably should tell people.
It's been in the news a lot, so I've heard different reports, and the people are like, we don't teach kids how to do this. I'm like, we do teach kids this stuff. We're acting like fake news was a new thing, but I mean, it probably is a little bit more prominent right now. But I mean, since I've been a librarian for 10 years, I mean, I mean, we teach that all the time. Like, are you getting good information? Where is it coming from? What's the purpose of that information? Why are people spreading that information? Is it being paid for? Is it an advertisement? I mean, information literacy is not new. So some of those news reports kind of got me a little.
Well, it's just funny. Like I'm just kind of, oops, sorry. I'm kind of glancing around, right? And so, definitely the currency bit, and also the authority piece. Definitely, you can get to the Google search app can definitely help with that a lot, right? So for those of you who don't know, and I don't know, like this is going to be recorded live. So if you're watching live, feel free to keep watching. But if you're not, you can definitely check this out later. But the nice part about Google, you can kind of search by date, right? So if you're trying to find a relevant source, like especially is this event current? Is it something that's been mentioned in the last couple of weeks, etc.? I don't know. Let's say that we're doing a search for, I don't know, James, give me a hot topic right now. You're muted there, big guy.
I got like 10 screens popping up. Sorry.
I do?
I do.
Oh. Oh, so
I can't think off the top of my, I mean, other than the election.
Well, we'll do Harry Potter. We'll play it safe, right? So the new Harry
controversy there.
I know. So you'll do a search for that. But one of the nice parts about using a Google search, it crawls, right? So it kind of gives you the most relevant searches first, and Wikipedia is usually one of the first things that pops up. But the nice part is if I jump over to right over here where it says tools, and click that, it's there that I can filter when I want to see those search results, right? So if I just want things that have been posted maybe within the last 24 hours or within the last week, or heck, maybe I'm trying to find that custom range, right? So if I want to find, maybe I'm doing like a research on the Boston Marathon bombings from 4 or 5 years ago, and I want to find and see what the news articles were posting about the days that it happened. I could actually go and filter this search from the April 18th through April the 20th, and just exactly see and follow those news stories real time because of the results that pop up. So let's just kind of, let's do like the 28th of November through, say, today, right? If you do a search for that, now all the dates and things that you'll get on here are just things that have been posted either within the last 24 hours or really over the last couple of weeks. Let me zoom it in here.
What about anybody else here in our Hangout?
Hey, Jesse.
Have you guys ever tried to throw a class party and all the parents want to bring donuts?
They have no idea what you're talking about. Actually, I take that back. Brooke does, because I did that. I did that to Brooke at Ed Camp. Yeah, I did, but I think she's away from her computer right now. So Jesse Levinsky is here. He's one of the keynotes for the EdTech Team Summit in April. Jesse, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, kind of share like what you do, where you are?
Sure, I am right now. So I didn't just wear a suit just for you guys. So I'm actually still at work. I'm a director of technology in Irvington, New York, which is right next to Sleepy Hollow. If you guys are familiar with Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman is not a real dude. He's made up. So, and yeah, so I've been. So I'm from a New Yorker, born and bred. I know Donnie's wearing the Red Sox hat just to kind of that's me right now. But
well,
yeah,
really because I couldn't.
Very
really because I couldn't find my Patriots hat to rub it in your face that you're a Jets fan. But
it does. You're trying to depress me.
I know.
I can't even process it right now.
I know. Sorry. So anyway, so Jesse, I'm kind of just holding a little discussion here. James was talking about how we can use Google search to kind of find like relevant sources especially like with all of the talk lately in the news of like, hey, how do you can tell if a site is real or fake? I kind of showcased how search can be used to kind of filter by date, so like within the past couple of weeks. Do you have any like cool Google search tips that you use when it comes to kind of narrowing or filtering searches for students to find exactly what they're looking for?
So when you're talking about like that type of search tip, I mean, I'm a big fan of just showing how to use advanced search just to be able to narrow down the scope of what you're looking for, or particularly if you're doing research content to, use the file type tag at the end to narrow down to what type you want. Same thing with image search with, narrowing it down by size, things like that. I would say nothing too...
Well, image search is that one thing that like everybody uses, but nobody like, I mean, let's be honest, like as educators, that's usually like our one go-to when we're trying to find pictures. And I mean, you really have to force yourself to make sure that you're citing your sources, that you're using images and things that you have permission to do. But James, do you want to share a little bit about, you know how to like filter image searches by usage, right?
Right, so what I was just looking at right now.
Yeah, are you pulling that up?
Actually, I have it right. Yeah, I can screen share.
Awesome, that'd be cool.
So Heidi brought up on Twitter doing reverse image searches of images you find in the article to see where else they pop up. That's kind of a cool idea.
So today's actually a very historic day. It's the 25th anniversary of the day the Tecmo Super Bowl was first launched to the general public. And for those of you not familiar with Tecmo Super Bowl, we were introduced to the greatest video game running back ever to touch the virtual pigskin, Bo Jackson. If you've seen the TV commercials, you know what I'm talking about. But so I was looking for a picture to post on Instagram to celebrate this momentous occasion. And what Donnie was referring to, so normally, and whenever we're searching for something, content for presentation, you want to make sure you can use, that you actually are allowed to use what you're showing. So when you go to, let me just start that search over again. Well, when you do that search, so you'll notice it comes up with some tags for the photos, but if I actually go to tools, I can narrow down that search by size if I'm looking for a high-res image for a presentation that may be on a big screen. But what Donnie was referencing was that usage rights, which is right here, which actually tells me whether or not the photo has been labeled for reuse, or basically what usage rights I would have. And I used to have to go to, oh my God, why am I blanking? What site do we used to have to go to find all that stuff to search through?
You can Creative Commons search.
Yeah, Creative Commons. So these basically the same labels right here. If I search for a label for reuse, I can see which. Notice that it gets narrowed down substantially because many of those photos were not actually labeled for reuse. But notice I could take this dude's picture. And it's not Bo Jackson though, so that's not.
It might be. I don't know. And I was just thinking too, like, when you're talking about like trying to find sources, like, one of my go-to sites, hang on, let me go here. I'm going to share my entire screen again, which is always a little bit clunky. So, one of my go-to sites is a site called the Google Newspaper Archive. And a lot of us like remember, when we were a kid, having to go and do like, if we're doing research, we might have to hop down to the library. Maybe we're trying to do research on our town to kind of get to that like microfiche archive of, the local town newspaper. But Google, what they've done is they've actually created an online repository of thousands of newspapers from around the world. And these are all, they're international, right? So there's some that are French. But if you're trying to find maybe a particular article that you can bring into your classroom, again, I don't know what this one is, but they have this issues. They've got 216 issues from 1868 to 1873. You can actually click on these, and this actually pulls up high-res images right? And I can zoom in on it by clicking this little plus sign right here. And again, I don't know how this is going to show up on YouTube just because it's not exactly always the highest quality, but this is actually really clear on my screen. And I can go in and I can find some relevant sources that I can then use in research, things that I can share with my students. Heck, maybe I'm doing some research on the Titanic, right? And I can actually search the archive for that. Let's see, maybe I'm trying to do some research on the Titanic, and I'm trying to see what newspapers have said about that over the years. And here's one from April 15th, 1962, right? And if you know your history, that was like actually well before they discovered where the Titanic was, right? So, you know, Google search definitely has some neat features built into it that you can use to locate information.
So Donnie, quick bit of trivia. This isn't like a direct Google skill, but do you know how how those newspapers get digitized so you could search that content?
I don't. In my mind, it's just one guy at Google who he's got the worst job in the world, who he's like scanning them every day. My guess is, did they create some kind of archive with micro?
So what if I told you that you know the person / people very well? Is
that you? Is that your job? Is that
well,
like
actually, it's been your job. Probably everyone on this Hangout we've been doing that work for Google. So, you know, when you go buy tickets, like on Ticketmaster, you have to put in the 2 words.
Yeah.
The captchas.
Yeah.
The recaptchas. So basically, what they're doing is they've been taking all of this old newspaper content dating back to the 1800s. They scan it in, and they have like a 97% rate of accuracy. And the words that they're not 100% sure about go into a pool. What they're doing is when they're asking you to type in 2 words, one of the words is coming from that 97% pool of recognized words. One of the words is coming from the pool that's not recognized. So what they do is they'll give that not recognized word to like 6 different people. And if 6 different people type in that second word correctly, that then moves to the pool of recognized words. So the first word is really just a throwaway word to make sure that you're a real person.
Not a robot.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
and the second
that's
word
cool.
is actually what digitizes. And this is the kind of useless trivia information that you can get by attending the Bluegrass Google Summit April 21st. I wish I had my toy mic drop.
That's pretty shameless. I like that. That was good. James, you want to move on to the second or third question? I don't know where they are on Twitter, so I'm a little bit behind.
No, that's all right. I haven't put it on Twitter yet. So the next one is kind of specific to librarians, but I mean, if you're not a school librarian, feel free to jump in. It's just, what are your favorite Google applications to use in the library or for the library? We need another librarian on the Hangout. That would be helpful. I feel like I just asked myself a question.
You did. Well, you can answer. You can get us started, and we'll jump in.
I think if I had to choose one, I think Google Forms probably is something that I've used the most, and the most
for like productivity, for automation, or for something other than that.
Really, just for almost any problem that a teacher brings you or a student brings you, like you can kind of answer it with Google Forms if it's some kind of information they want to keep track of, or even if it involves parents or just staff or whoever, like you can wrap Google Forms around some kind of solution in combination with Sheets a little bit. Forms is my jam.
Forms and Sheets are my like 2 favorite tools in like the traditional G Suite. Are we doing that now? We're doing G Suite.
The G Suite, the G Suite spot.
But the first.
Oh my gosh.
This is a PG. This is a family video podcast. The one I thought of, actually, and I'm not a library media specialist, even though I oversee ours here, is Google Arts and Culture, which is like quickly becoming like my favorite resource in Google, because I feel like it's this one really rich site that not a lot of people talk about, but whenever I show it at a summit like the Bluegrass Summit on April 21st, people are always amazed by how much content is on there. And I feel like you could really, and this is something that kind of started with Google Lit Trips, right? And the use of Google Earth to really kind of let students experience the places that are actually happening in literature. But I feel like Google Arts and Culture goes way deeper. Yeah, Donnie, thanks for sharing. But this was Google Cultural Institute before it switched over. But it's super rich. And I don't know, I always talk about this, that it reminds me of, and I'll date myself here, but back in the late 90s when Yahoo used to, before pre-Google, I had to use something, right? So Yahoo used to post those galleries of like exhibits, and they would have pictures of artifacts and text going over it as well. Well, this is even richer than that, because not only can you see things from a particular place or a particular topic, but they have full exhibits and content, and then 360 imagery, which allows you to not only go to locations, but actually visit museums, historical places, and using the favorite feature, you can actually bookmark specific items. So when you think about students now sharing out content, or kind of, rather than summarizing what they read, or kind of giving you this rote, book report-y type response to something, you could actually have them share places, locations, items as a way of creating a more real experience for them to share with the rest of the class.
Yeah, I had it pulled up, and then I accidentally clicked on a meme that my wife had saved on this computer, which was awkward for 2 seconds. But I did a quick search on the Arts and Cultural Institute for Van Gogh, right? And one of the neat features of it is, like, this is like a gigapixel image, so I can actually zoom in and I can see his brushstrokes up close. It's really cool, right? But down at the bottom, you've got Pegman, like the Google Maps Street View guy, that if I click that, I can actually go into the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and I can actually see not only like Van Gogh's Starry Night, but I can also see what other paintings are around it. And I can walk around, I can check it out. It's quite cool, right? And we live in Kentucky, so we're not exactly close to New York or a lot of major museums. So this is definitely one way where you can kind of give your students the opportunity to get those virtual field trips to kind of see what's out there in the world.
And even more than, I love, Museum View and the fact that you could do that through, MoMA and a bunch of other places. But when you think now about even history that we study, and one specific instance I always like to talk about is Ford's Theater, how the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, is not only can you see those individual artifacts, but you can actually explore the theater. There's a ton of different ways that you can learn in a different context about history or about the places that you read about in literature. And I think that's kind of how Google Lit Trips started. But Google Lit Trips is really a tool designed to, to utilize Google Earth, which is a software application that's not as accessible for teachers to just get on their desktops, since a lot of teachers have their desktops locked down. Whereas here, any place you really want to go visit, you can go and actually learn more about it in the context of the literature that you're reading.
Sorry, I'm just playing around in Ford's Theater. I always forget that one's there. Like for a social studies teacher, or even for a librarian, if you're trying to get those connections with, stuff that you read in class, etc. Like, it's such a cool way to supplement your learning.
Totally.
Yeah. Brooke, you didn't get excited when Lincoln was brought up.
I don't like to talk about when Lincoln was killed. Come on.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Well, hey, I mean, this one's simple, but my especially elementary librarians love the research tool / explore / whatever it's called now.
And it's back.
Yeah.
Yay!
So that is there. I know that there are lots of our elementary librarians who really work with our kids a lot on research and teaching those just basic, citation skills and digital citizenship, with the really early grades when they come into the library for their special time. So I know that's really popular for a lot of ours, for sure.
I'm going to share one on behalf of Emily's Still Photo. Emily's Still Photo would like to share that templates in Google Docs and Sheets and etc. would be her favorite, because students can access the template to use, like, so you got templates for bibliographies or essay format or a slide deck. And I hear that's big up in Canada. They love that.
Wait, is Emily with us?
No, she's scrolling on her screen share. Bless her heart. She's trying really hard to participate.
We love you, Emily. That's great. Oh, too soon. All right, James, you got another quote.
I have one more. Probably a few people have probably heard me talk about this, that if they're school librarians, but we used Google Forms for our sign-in. We were in a high school of like 1,600 students, so there were kids in and out all day long, and we kind of had to keep track of them when they were there. So if there's a fire drill or something like that, we know who was in the room with us. And by having that Google form, I could just pull up on my phone the Google Sheet who was in the room and when they checked out, when they signed out. But also it gave us tons of data on who was using the library and how often and what resources they were using, which we could kind of, you could kind of guess at that in other ways, or you could try to do it on paper and spend lots of time trying to figure it out. But doing that Google form was just super fast and easy way for us to get information on how our space and resources are being used.
And I definitely agree. The learning how to use Google Forms, like you were saying, James, in conjunction with Google Sheets, because not only collecting the data, but then figure out how to disaggregate it and share it with the people who need access to it, sort it, filter it, etc. Maybe you're using it for like, I know, librarians aren't always, the ones who are giving like the K-Prep tests or big testings at the end of the year. But if you're trying to just get some quick, accurate assessments of your students, it's an awesome way to do that with your class, especially with the new quiz feature. You got a new question for us?
Yeah, I'm going to jump to this one. So this is, what's your most creative use of a Google application? Doesn't have to be library specific this time, just any educational use.
Donnie, putting an animated GIF into it.
Wait, does it have to be educational? It may not have to be educational.
Yeah, no, trust me, it's not educational.
Have you ever had a class party?
Devil's Lab, it's not educational. It's been established.
Oh man, this is getting awkward.
Use of a Google Apps.
Oh.
I'll throw one out there, and then I got to get back to the board meeting because they're probably wondering what happened to me. And this is a Forms one, so this is for James. So I did this when I was in. Weirdly enough, it was my first actual thing with EdTech team. It was in Kuwait, and I was working with a group of 50 students, and we had done some professional development to kind of introduce them to the whole platform, and then want to assess their skills, but do it in a group activity. And I want to use Forms to do it. So what we did was we created like a virtual amazing race using Forms. And the way we did it was we had 4 trainers circulating around the room. We had 50 kids broken up into groups of like 4 or 5. And what we did was we kind of had skills that were built into this activity where for Google search, they had to demonstrate that they were able to show us, results for the Kuwait Tower, but they had to be in PDF. So what they would do is when they were able to perform whatever task we were asking them to do, they would call a trainer over, let us know that we, show us that they did it. So they had to demonstrate that they actually knew how to do the skill, and then we would give them the 4-digit code which they had to enter in order to proceed to the next activity. So we did that using, oh my God, it's late at night and I'm blanking.
Branching logic?
No.
Data validation.
Yeah, data validation. So we did it using data validation. We had a separate sheet that had all the different codes on there. My warning to anyone who decides to do this using data validation is to remember to put in the custom error text that says like incorrect code, because when we did a run
tell you the right number.
What happened is the code was like 6453, and when they put in the wrong number, it said the number should be 6453. So that defeats the whole purpose of it. You want to make sure that if you're going to design an activity that uses data validation that way, that you actually put incorrect code or something. But that was a nice way to self-pace them through the activity. It let us kind of get our eyes on what they were all doing, but it still, you know, created that excitement around the race to finish. But yeah, cool way to use Google Forms.
Now, I was just thinking 2 years ago I taught, hang on, I'm going to have to share my whole screen here. A couple of years ago I taught 4th and 5th grade math.
You're going to make me stay.
Right? Oh, yeah. So a couple of years ago I taught 4th or 5th grade math, and part of my content was to teach students, you know, it's Common Core, so teaching students how to multiply decimals, to add decimals, you know, to divide, whatever. And so, you know, one of the ways that I did that was I used Google Sheets to create basically a fantasy football game, right? Because fantasy football, if you play, you know, every week they, you know, let's say, let me jump in here. You know, like, so they pick their team each week, and each week they did research. You know, part of Common Core is they have to analyze charts and data, blah, blah, blah. So they did research. I gave them the, this is just the template, but I gave them the projected rosters each week. So they would go and they'd pick their team. And then I use this when under the old Doctopus days. So every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I would lock all of their rosters, right? So they couldn't change them. And I kept them locked until Tuesday morning when math class started. Then what the students had to do was they had to go to ESPN.com and do some research on their player to see how they did. So let's say that Tom Brady had a particularly bad game and he threw, oops, sorry, I'm on view only right now. But as they, on the wrong account, that's why. So
hypothetically, he had a bad game.
Yeah, hypothetically, he had like 7 touchdowns, let's say. But the way that it worked, so students would go, let me kind of hop back to this. I just made a copy of it so I could edit it. Let me go in here. So hypothetical, so, you know, they picked Brady. So let's say he had 6 touchdowns. Well, for week 1, to figure out how many points he had, they had to multiply their total by 4. So that'd be 24. If it's right, there's just a simple spreadsheet command here that if they did it right, it would say correct. How many yards? Let's say he threw for 539 yards. So they'd have to multiply it times 0.1, et cetera, and they'd have to sum them up. And then down the, yeah, so then, you know, it kept the running tally up here week by week. And I actually got super geeky with it. I don't have it on this template, but I actually created using.
Was it a master sheet that pulled it all together?
Yeah, so I had a master sheet that I grabbed everybody's URL for this to use import range, and basically created a live scoreboard that updated real time. I don't think I can get to it from here on the template that I made. No, I can't get to it on the template. But it's pretty cool, right? The kids got into it. Every week that they went through, they had a different multiple of decimals that they had to do. And I got to shamelessly play fantasy football in math class, which was kind of a lot of fun. Yeah, it was cool. Emily, you're here.
I am.
Nice. Did you get your flight taken care of?
In the process of it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Donnie, you know what the problem is? Team United.
I know. Hashtag Team Delta, right?
Yeah,
Come
Team
on.
Delta.
You're on the wrong team.
Yeah, you know, it's getting pretty geeky up in here when I get excited about the spreadsheet logic. Spreadsheet logic is tremendously exciting.
If you don't know spreadsheets, learn spreadsheets. It'll change your life.
Anyway, I got to boogie, but I want to just thank you guys for having me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the Bluegrass Summit on April 22nd and 23rd in Kentucky. We'll have some burgoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
See you, bud. So wait, Emily, haven't introduced yourself yet. You've got to introduce yourself.
So I'm Emily. I'm from Fergus, Ontario, Canada, where there's about 1.5 feet of snow outside. And I'm the Director of Professional Development for EdTech Team Canada up here. And yeah, looking forward to coming down and seeing all of you guys again and meeting a lot of new people.
Cool. Emily, what did you do before you started work with EdTech team?
So I was in the classroom. I taught math, computer science, and English as a second language to secondary school students, so 9th through 12th grade.
Oh, cool. All right. James, do you have another question for us? Uh-oh.
Yes. Maybe.
All right.
How do you use Google applications to simplify your life?
Ooh.
Either, I guess, your school life or your personal life. I don't know. Either one.
Well, you're talking the last question was about Google Forms, right? And creative uses for forms. So my question or my answer kind of goes with both that question and this one. One of the things that I love to do is get teachers to kind of see the benefit of Google Apps in terms of creating systems of efficiency. And so, and not just teachers, but administrators too. And so I love when somebody comes to me with a problem and they say, you know, this is a paperwork nightmare. How can we simplify that? And one of the things that I'm in the process of working on that it's working out so far, fingers crossed, but we kind of created a Google form for our director of human resources, who is basically like our athletic director for the whole school district. So he's got 25 athletic directors in each of the schools. Well, really just the middle and high schools. And anyway, so those ADs are managing all the paperwork for the coaches in all those buildings. And for our high schools, that's a whole lot of coaches and a whole lot of certifications. So we created a master Google form, and then we kind of got really geeky with some custom functions and things inside the spreadsheets to be able to create like a master list for our director of HR to make that process of managing all that paperwork and all that liability a little bit easier. So, you know, just by creating that using Google Forms has kind of opened a lot of different windows for people to kind of see the value in Google Apps and how it can simplify, you know, things as mundane and time consuming as managing lots and lots of paperwork. So that's been a fun thing to do.
Tell you one of the things that I've really started, so I've been playing around a lot with new Google Sites. And hang on, this is one of my student ones. Her name's not on this, so give me half a second here. So one of the things that you can do that I love about the new Google Sites, one, just like the old sites, unlike the old sites, I can like actually click anywhere and I can insert a file from Drive. You know, it's a lot easier to use. So if I wanted to say on my, you know, this would be like a writing portfolio. It's probably not the right place for it, but if I wanted to put some stuff on here, I could actually just insert that whole spreadsheet directly onto my site. You know, if I was a student, this could be a really easy and quick way that I could create a portfolio to showcase my work. But one of the new features that I love about the new sites is this little button over here. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. This button that says Drive Folder, right? Because not only can you insert individual files like presentations and things like that onto the new sites, but if you have a folder in Google Drive, you can actually insert the contents of that entire folder onto, let me find one here that doesn't have some student names on it. Trying to find some stuff here. We'll do, let's do this program review stuff. So I can actually insert one whole folder on here, right? And then what that does is that'll actually, these are teachers in my district, but it inserts the entire contents of that folder directly onto the site. And so if a student has a folder with all of their stuff in it from a class, again, if they're using, let's say like Google Classroom, for example, you know, they've got that folder that's automatically made for them within Drive. So the students can simply go, once the year's older, they want to put a digital portfolio together of their work. They can just simply go insert Drive folder, find their class, insert the contents of that folder. And what I learned is they can even change how it's viewed, right? So if they want that grid viewed where it looks a lot prettier, et cetera, they can insert that entire folder on there to make a digital portfolio really quickly. Thought that was cool.
And Donnie, in conjunction of your Google Sites, the new feature where they can actually edit and create their Google site and save it without publishing.
Yes.
And adding collaborators, so that students don't have to publish it out to the world if they don't want to, but they can still go through that process of making that website or that digital portfolio.
Yeah, the new Google Sites is definitely still missing some of the bells and whistles that old sites had, but comparatively, like the way that it looks and how much easier it is to set up and use, I do not miss classic Google Sites at all. Sorry, Sites fans. Sorry, Josh, if you're still watching. Sorry. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to hop around on here. Has anybody been checking Twitter to see how that conversation's going?
I have been a little bit. There's lots to talk about forms. There was Katie Newton talked about doing a collaboration with a classroom teacher. She's a school librarian also, about doing a book club, reading club kind of thing on Google Classroom with the regular classroom, kind of tying those two things together. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
This is not very exciting, but that feature where you can just change the link of the Google Doc and put copy at the end of it.
Oh, that is a nice little trick.
I know this is really stupid, but we use it for our button maker template. So that link is on our school website for the library, and I don't have to go hunt down that file for the kids. I can just say, go click on that link, and then they have their own button maker template to work on.
I don't think that's stupid, and I think there's a lot of people who don't know about it. Just saying. I think excelente.
Can you show us how to do it? Like share your screen and do it?
She muted. Does that mean she doesn't want
to? Are you talking to me? Donnie?
Yes, I have too many things open to make that happen right this second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Donnie's been screen share master tonight, so I just assumed you were talking to him.
Either one of you. Anybody.
Sure, I got you. Okay. Oh, shoot. Hey, when I'm screen sharing, can you you can't zoom. It doesn't zoom on Hangouts, does it?
Command plus will, but it won't. I can see your URL is pretty clear. I can see it up the top.
Okay. Okay, is this clear?
That's pretty clear.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I can't stop giggling. Okay, so you take the word edit and you change it to copy. Oh, you shouldn't have asked me to do this. Okay, so ready? I'm going to paste the new link, enter the, but this is like a good party trick. Oh.
This is going great. This is going really well.
Okay, got it. Look, it's there. See? I think I accidentally pressed a key when I pasted that in. So anyway, when you change the words over here, at the end of the URL for your Google Doc or whatever, change edit to copy, and then it forces anybody who clicks that link to make a copy. And I agree with James. I use this trick all the time. So
yeah, we use it for one of our assistant principals. She's using it for teachers to keep track of like their growth goals for students. She just went and made a template and sent us all the link and said, okay, come up with your growth goals. Click with a spreadsheet that you literally just click on, and you duplicate that copy to your Google Drive, and you just type in what you want and share it right back with her. It's really simple to use.
I keep seeing actually new template features in Drive. They look pretty sweet.
In Google Apps for Ed, or just for
Ed, like where you share in your domain.
Yeah. I probably should make some of those.
Are you talking about Team? Oh, templates. I was gonna say, is Team Drive like? Does everybody have that yet, or no?
I had a student make one and share it with me today. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's only been around for about a week. But hang on, since Brooke just called me the master of screen sharing, I guess I should screen share.
Or maybe you're just trying to keep me from actually trying to demo something.
That's brutal. So anyway, so one of the new things that's within Google Drive, let me hop on over here, is, most people, they'll see the little button that says My Drive up there. They can press the little down arrow. They can get into their folders and things like that. But one of the new features they have is this little guy that says Team Drive, right? And the Team Drive is pretty cool because think of it as kind of like a Google Classroom without the Google Classroom, right? So I can click on the little down arrow. I can hop into my 5th grade Team Drive. And, we've only been playing with it a week. I put some of my social studies and writing stuff in there. But all of these people up the top, just like with a Google Doc, they have full access to it. It's essentially like an easy-to-use classroom folder or a Google Drive folder. So instead of telling people to like add, to share a folder with them and then have them add that folder to their drive, instead it's kind of already up there. It's just kind of a drive that's created that anybody can add anything to it. So in theory, you could have a team drive with like every teacher in your building, that all of the documents and templates and things that you want your district to, or your building or your district to have access to, you can literally just pop it in there and then it updates real time. Does anybody know if they're gonna fix because you can't put folders in there right now and it's really annoying. You can only do like one document. Like you can't do like whole folders worth of stuff.
I can't really talk about it, but yeah.
You guys don't stay up late at night figuring this stuff out? No? Okay.
No, the Google people told me they're working on that, yeah. I just can't talk about it.
So quick question though, when you put stuff in Team Drive, in terms of ownership, does that mean that everyone in there owns it? Like, because my understanding was that like, okay, so we have a lot of teachers who have collaborative folders where they're sharing, different documents and whatever. So if a teacher was to move to a different district and like wipe her whole drive, what happens to that stuff that's inside Team Drive? You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking if it was in Team Drive, it was more like a co-ownership kind of space. You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Hang on. I'm finding out for you. I'm opening it up. I'm going to see. I've got a form that I'm opening up right now, like a little flashback that I gave my students. Seeing who has editing rights or who's the owner. My guess is it's whoever puts it in there is the owner, because usually you can't have more than one owner on this stuff. Hang on, I've got a Hangout open, so my computer is painfully slow.
So we're getting close to running out of time, but Michelle on Twitter was wondering what you all suggest for a blogging platform as it for a blogger newbie.
Like a Google tool for that, or just like anything?
I think she just wants to start blogging. So
I mean, I like WordPress thanks to my friend James Allen who taught me how to use it.
I'm kind of a WordPress fan myself.
It took me a minute to get used to it, but once I did, I mean, I much prefer that over anything I've ever used before. It's really
Brooke,
easy.
do you want to screen share and show us your WordPress site?
Okay, I feel like you're making fun of me now. So, because you just smirked a little bit after you said that. I don't like your tone, Donnie Piercy. So no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, Blogger is good too. It's especially since it's connected to your account and everything. But the new sites looks really cool, especially where the kids can publish stuff to just inside your little bubble of a world for a while if you want. Yeah,
like for my classroom blog that I use Blogger. I mean, and part of the reason is it's just what I've used from the beginning, so it's just kind of what I use. It's not as snazzy as WordPress. You can't make it look, it doesn't have as many plugins and stuff as WordPress does. But you can still kind of make it have a certain pop and pizzazz to it. I mean, I just use the way that I use Blogger. It's kind of my central hub for my classroom. So, my logic is when the students go home, if we play a game in class, if we look at something in class, I kind of want them to be able to have access to it from home so they, can show their parents or whatever it is. I also have all like my big links up here that we kind of use throughout the year. But again, it's free, and WordPress is free too, right? There's a paid and a free version?
There's a free version, yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of running out of time. I think we should talk about the summit a little bit for people that have not been to one yet.
All right. So Emily, since you work for EdTech team, do you want to share a little bit about what a Google Apps for Education / G Suite for Education / EdTech, whatever it is that we're calling it now, Summit?
Sure. So it is a kind of 2-day high-intensity event. When you come in, you'll get your lanyard, which will have your name tag on it, some swag. You'll have breakfast there, both mornings. And then we start off the day with a keynote, followed by 4 breakout sessions. And then at the end of the first day, we do this really fun thing called a demo slam, where a whole bunch of presenters, whether they're the spotlight speakers or they're local presenters, will come up and they have 3 minutes to demo their favorite, geekiest, funnest tool. And then there's prizes at the end, as well as you get all of those like really cool tidbits, kind of like what we did here tonight of different tips and tricks. And then at the end of day 2, so the end of the Sunday, there is a closing keynote to kind of send you on your way and get you all set up. And what's really neat is that all of the presenters are going to share their resources out so that you'll have them when you go back to your classroom and you go back home after. But then also for the sessions that you didn't get a chance to go to, you'll still have access to those resources as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are watching, a lot of people kind of following online are, they might have, like we've had a lot of boot camps for level 1 and level 2 educator, Google Educator here in Kentucky. A summit is kind of like that times 10. So, you know, we bring in keynotes, we have door prizes, lots of fun giveaways. And instead of just 25 people at it, you'll have somewhere between 300 and 400, not only Kentuckians, but people tend to flock from all across the world to come to these events. Like we did one in so there's the Bluegrass Summit link right there. We did one in Las Vegas last year, and we had people coming all the way from the Northwest Territories of Canada that came down to attend it. So it's definitely cool. Emily's got the link pulled up right now, and I'll tweet this out in a second, but it's at ky.gafesummit.com/bluegrass. You see there's a big register button up there in the top right. Some of the keynote presenters. Mark Hammonds, who's one of the co-founders of Breakout EDUs, are opening. Jesse, who was on earlier, he's our day 2 keynote. And Kate Petty, who's the director of boot camps, is going to be closing the event. But again, if you go up there, you guys can register. We're still in the early bird pricing phase. So, and especially if you sign up as groups, you get a much, much, much cheaper rate. We're even having like boot camps beforehand. We're having a level 2 Google Educator boot camp on that Friday, led by Jesse Lubinsky. And for you admin people out there who have no idea how the admin console works, even on that Friday, we'll be bringing in a Google for Education expert with a company called Amplified IT, who will be running kind of the 1-day retreat for the admin console. So that's on that Friday as well. Now, the thing is, we would like to give away a ticket. And I know a lot of people who have been following online would like to know how to get to that ticket. So I've created a form. And the form, it's going to require you to log in with your Google account. It's going to automatically collect your name. And you can only vote once. If you put your name on there more than once, you will be publicly shamed. Sorry. And so I'll leave the form open for about 2 to 3 minutes, give people a chance to get their names on it. And then we're going to randomly draw and pick somebody's name live. And then I'll be in contact with you immediately after this via email to show you how you can get your free summit ticket. So here we go. Are you guys ready? So if you are kind of
on the Twitter chat or just here?
James, could you tweet it out to KYL chat for me? It's going to be hard for me to do both. Okay. Okay, so to get to the form, here's the link that you need to get to. Oh, that's not the link. There it is. get to the link to register for the free summit ticket, you need to go to bit.ly/KY-Summit. No exclamation point. That was just me being excited. But the link is right here. Is that coming through pretty clear on the Hangout, guys? Yep. Yeah, it looks like it is. So if you go to bit.ly/KY-Summit, it'll take you to the form. Basically ask you what's your name, email address, where do you live, are you interested in attending the summit, and then go ahead and press submit, right? So I'll leave that up here for a couple of seconds. And while people get their stuff in. Brooke, would you like to sing a song for us while we're waiting?
Well, I went down to the Grundy County auction. That one? Was that the one you had in mind?
That was actually the one that I had in mind. You know, I did live in Jessamine County for 4 years, home of John Michael Montgomery. So there you go. Yikes, that was pretty scary. I've learned I'm more of a Brad Paisley fan.
Oh no. 90s country's where it's at, my friend.
Oh gosh, no, don't go there. Please don't go there.
I shared the link on Twitter, but it's a little slow tonight.
All right.
There it is. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the Hangout that's doing that.
Well, the auctioneer was going about a mile a minute. Take a bids and call them out loud. Just tell me when to stop.
No, keep going.
Well, I guess I was really getting in it. So I just shouted out above the crowd. And I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine, oh mine. I'll do your bid. Are you ready yet?
No, keep going.
Be at your beck and call. Well, I've never seen anyone looking so fine, man. I gotta have her. She's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold to the lady in the second row. She's a 9, she's a 10, I know. Ready?
Oh man. Did I tell you I'm sharing this with all the DTCs tomorrow?
Do it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't care. Do it.
All right.
So the next KYL chat is going to be on January 10th. We're going to take a little break for the holiday season.
All right. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up the responses, see if anybody out there is paying attention. Was anybody complaining that, okay, had some people come in? I'm going to go and grab some names. And again, I'm not showing everybody's name right now. I'm going to go to my random name. Go to my random name generator. Oops. Oh, crap. Sorry. I know you guys can't see this. I'm just trying to get it up and running. All right. 7 seconds. All right. You guys ready? I'm waiting for yeses. You guys ready for this?
Sorry. Yes. Let's do it. Go team.
Are you guys having like little side chat behind the sines here, making fun of me while I'm doing this?
Not at all.
Right.
We're just really excited to see the names come up. We can't see them yet.
This has been the best Hangout ever, really. Maybe one of the best KYL chats ever.
Hopefully everybody watching agrees too.
All right, so here we go. The random names generator is going to be going, and we'll get our name. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see who our winner is. Lori! Yay! Everybody clap for Lori.
Yay!
Cool. Well, congratulations, Lori. I've got your email and stuff on here, so I'll send you an email kind of once this Hangout is over with. I've got your email address as well. And I will kind of forward you on the information that you guys need.
So I know Lori. She's awesome. She is a school librarian in Lexington.
Nice.
It's not James Allen. What's the school?
James Lane Allen. The name that I keep accidentally calling you.
The Lexington School, right? Isn't that what it's called?
What? There's a private school in Lexington called the Lexington School.
Yeah, that's where she teaches.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, congratulations, Lori. Again, I'll forward this information onto you here once we're done. And then congratulations. Look forward to seeing you at the summit in April. Other than that, I know we went a little bit over, guys, so sorry about that. But you guys have any last words to say?
Have a good holiday.
Thank you. Just that we'll have KYL chat again on January 10th, Tuesday, January 10th.
Nice.
Thanks for letting us
Brooke,
team up with you tonight. It was unforgettable.
Brooke, you wanna sing for us to send us off?
Oh, say, can you see?
Did you guys know you can mute people on Hangouts? All right, you can eject them too if you want, but I wouldn't do that. Oh man, hang on, I can't unmute her now.
No, it said
Yeah.
Donnie Piercy muted you.
I can eject you. I can eject you if I wanted to.
Thanks for being here, Emily. I appreciate it.
Hey,
love you
no
guys.
problem. Thanks
All right,
for
hang on.
inviting me, guys.
I'm gonna stop broadcasting here. Bye.